I think that book is wanting to go to this party. I just brought okay. I'm sorry. I know I can't.
Good save.
And now you're on YouTube Live.
We have the like go to the other room, please. Next over in the lunchroom over there to the just need seats for the youth. So yeah. So get up and down. For the youth. Oh, you're gonna good.
Hey, TT, I'll be over here. This is for y'all over here.
It's people gonna do.
No.
You can walk. I'm gonna stream it to you.
Have your attention for a moment.
Okay,
Please
thank
have your
you.
attention for a moment. If we can have chairs around the edges and we can have the adults continue to stay in the room. We're just trying to make some seating around this, kind of the U-shaped tables. If we can have the adults sit on the outside.
Oh, I thought they. No, I want you all to stay in. They were just trying to make room for the youth, but it's supposed to be an open forum for everybody.
Nos quedamos aquí.
Good turn.
I see.
You know what? Well, the food is not coming till 1.
What did you want to do? Because they ate the chips. That's what Mariah said, but they had already started. They know. Okay. So Rihanna said she set them out, but she didn't tell them that they couldn't have them.
Let's get started. You ready? Ready?
What were the updates that we needed to get to the dogs? Because one of them just left. So,
Tom, we just have to call select the tracking system.
yeah,
About the ethnicity.
yeah, yeah. That was pretty much it, right?
Okay, yeah,
We'll get to it. We'll figure it out.
so the survey, that we don't, that's not a big issue, we just get something. Let's get, no, you are, we're gonna get started.
I can ask.
I did that, can you, welcome?
Welcome everybody.
Let's go right into it.
Let me go live.
Looks good, you're on.
Hello everybody, good morning. How we doing today? Welcome to coming out on your Christmas break to this event. I really appreciate it. My name is William Penn. I am the president of Grand Boulevard Coalition, or GBC, and I want to go through a couple housekeeping with you guys. So, restroom, you go out this door to your left is ladies, to the right is men. If there's no accommodation, there's no ready, okay? Phones, if you're doing something for us now, survey or whatever, if you're done, fine. If not, after that, if you don't mind, take your phone off. Because this is being recorded, Facebook Live and Twitter, and so we don't need the ring or you guys being distracted. Parking lot, and you guys parked in the lot for anything, like parked down in the back, okay, good. Seating, I guess there's some type of stuff that's gonna be happening throughout the next 45 minutes to hour, so if you are a student, try to be close to the table so you can write or be moved to it. Did I miss anything? Everything good? Okay. Okay, and the last thing is, if you haven't signed in, we're not gonna ask you to rush and go sign in now, but before you leave and get your lunch or meal that we'll have a little later, please sign in, so we know what you right here, especially if you're getting credit for this within your school or organization, or you actually been made to be here, okay? Is there any questions from you guys? No? Okay, good. So let's get right into it so we can get it going. So, I would like to present our guest speaker today, who flew in from Rockford. Long flight. And the gentleman's name is Oliver Reed. He's a master trainer. He's actually trained me to get up here and talk in front of you guys. So I think he's doing a great job with that. He's with TTJ Group LLC. And when I went through his bio, the only thing that kept coming out was a great guy. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm going to bring him up now. Oliver Reed.
First of all, let me go ahead and welcome you all I'd like to welcome you all to the Brownsville Opioid 3 Youth Focused Workshop. As he said, my name is Oliver Reed, and I don't know, if you knew what you were in for, but we're going to talk about a very, very difficult topic today. And so that we're going to need your help, your assistance, because it's going to affect not only you, your neighborhood, your community, your school. And so before we get started, there are a few logistical things. I know that if you have your seating in here, it would be helpful if you turn your seating toward this way. That way you don't have to feel awkward. If there's a question in regards to parking lots, parking lot is going to be a place where, you can just put that on the wall. Parking lot is going to be a place where if you have a question and we can't get to it, we'll put it in the parking lot. Hopefully by the end of the night or the end of the day, before we leave here, we will be able to get to those kinds of things. Before we get started, did anybody have any expectations when they came here? Anybody have any expectations? You mean to tell me y'all just showed up? Y'all just came. So no expectations. He want to put his hand. You want to put your hand up? Huh? No expectations. Yeah.
To learn something new that I didn't know before.
Learn something new. Anything else? This group of leaders, any expectations? What did you come for? Why did you show up? Because your group leader or the person said, hey, we're going to this thing, you got to go? Yeah. And that's what it is? Okay, I bet y'all people, It's all right. Everybody's like, yeah, that's it. So, before we get started, because of the room setting, this is what I'd like for you to do. We're going to take part in this activity. And this activity is called, Who Are You? So, the person that you're sitting next to, you need to have two people. Be yourself and someone else. The person that's sitting next to you. You are going to turn to them. One person will be the speaker. One person will be listening. The speaker will say, who are you? That person that your partner will tell you who they are. One word. You will continue to ask them, who are you? They will continue to tell you who they are. We're going to do that for about 30 seconds. Now, as they're telling you who they are, you are listening to them. You're not just saying, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Because guess what? We're going to ask you who they are. All right? Let me give you an example. First of all, let me have my son Damien come up here. This is my son, my DJ, my IT guy, my right hand. If you can come up here with us for a second. So, this is what, I'm going to give you an example of what this is like. Who are you?
A son.
Who are you?
A brother.
Who are you?
A student.
But who are you?
Lawyer.
But who are you?
Pastor.
But who are you?
Free thinking.
But who are you?
Cognizant.
All right, y'all understand how it is? Okay, fine, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to pick your partner. They should be sitting right next to you. 10, 9, 8, wait a minute, don't stop yet, just pick your partner. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop. Everybody should have their partner picked, right? Everybody should have their partner picked. Now, listen up. You have 5 seconds to decide who is going to be speaking and who is going to be the person that's listening. So the person that's speaking is going to be saying, who are you? The other person is going to be the one that's giving the conversation, saying who they are. Everybody got it? Everybody, 5 seconds to find out who's going to be asking who are you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here we go. You have 30 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop. Okay. Who would like to report out? Who the person they saw, or who the person they spoke with? Over here? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This is leadership right here. This is leadership. So who do we stand up? Have your partner stand up. So who do you have with you?
This is Matthew. He told me that he's loyal, a friend, a leader, and he also said he's creative minded.
Okay. We're gonna, instead of doing some claps, let's give him some snaps. All right. Who else is gonna report out? Who else is gonna report out? Okay, leadership back there. A student, a player, and a brother. Okay, what kind of player? player from the Himalayas or something? All right, let's give him some snaps. Okay, we're going to switch it. We're going to switch it around. Now the other person should be asking the questions. The other person should be reporting out. You ready? Yeah. On your march, get set, go! Ten seconds. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, stop. Who's reporting out? Where my leaders at? Where my leaders at that's reporting out? Yes, ma'am. She's like, girl, you better get up. Go ahead.
This is the Black Youth House. She's a helper, she's a student, she's a president, she's a lawyer, she's a president. She's creative. This is the
All right. Let's give us some snaps. All right, give us some snaps. Any other leaders? Where my other leaders at? Over here. I'm looking for my leaders. Where we at? Anybody over here? I know you want to raise your hand. You want to raise your hand. Who do you have sitting with you? Okay, stand up. Here's my opportunity for leadership. Here we go. Who do we have here? Y'all give us some snaps. Loyal, courageous, and a leader. Who do I have back? Somebody in the back? You ready? You sure? Opportunity for leadership. That's right. Who do we have back there?
This is Jada, and she said that she's a gamer, she's a student, she's smart, she's kind, and she said she's a child.
All right. Okay, listen up. I would be remiss if I didn't say, I want to appreciate, I brought my father along with me. I appreciate him coming. I'm from Rockford, and I brought some young men. I had talked to them about 3 or 4 days ago, and I asked them to come, and so they didn't say anything, so I didn't expect for them to be here today. And so late last night, I got a call saying, hey, Mr. Reed, what time we leaving? And so I appreciate them. I appreciate their leadership. I appreciate their outgoingness. That's what we need. That's what we need. Thank you. We need young people to stand up. We need young people to take their place. We're now getting ready to go into the part where we talk about our why. And your why is bigger than you. Your why is going to be the thing that governs you. The why is going to get you out of the bed in the morning. The why is going to keep you connected to the folks and the groups and the organizations that you're connected to. Your why is going to, even when you don't want to, your why is going to push you and tell you, hey, you gotta get up. And today we're here to talk about some serious issues that's happening in our community. It is affecting our community in a horrible way. And that's why I want to ask you, what is your why? And if you're not sure for what your why is, that's okay. Does anybody want to tell me what their why is? Anybody want to share their why? Why are you here? Why we're here talking about this opioid crisis that's happening not just in Chicago or not just in Rockford, not just in Illinois, but it's happening all over the country. Does anybody want to tell you about their why? I'll tell you about mine here. See, my why is I got tired of going to funerals. I got tired of walking down that aisle and seeing young boys, if you will, with their chests poked out, laying in a casket. I got tired of looking over to my right and seeing the mother just crying her eyes out. I got tired of that. I got tired of seeing all the other friends with the t-shirts with the young man's picture on it that said, rest in peace. I got tired. I got tired of seeing young people picking up pistols and putting down pencils. I got tired. I got so tired that I said, we have to be able to do something. Something to change the momentum, to turn the game around. I know sometimes it may look like we're losing, but the reality of it is the game ain't over. The book ain't done, just turn the page. That's my why. And so every morning when I get up, we just had in Rockford, I know this is Chicago, but we're one of the most dangerous cities in the country. A little old city that's probably 90 miles away from here, with a population of under 200,000. We just had 2 people that were killed. In the last month, we've had 5 people killed. And with our small little city. Now, it may not look that much like that in Chicago, but when you get to Rockford, it's huge. And so that's my why. That's my why. It drives me. It keeps me up at night. It doesn't let me sleep. I want to thank the Chicago Area Project for having me here today. Mr. Williams, Ms. Laurel, Ms. Kay, Mariah, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Being able to share with you all. Being able to learn. Hopefully I can learn from you and you can learn from me and we can learn from each other as we begin to build a plan for this epidemic. One of the things that I want to share with you is one of my favorite parallels. Our learning objectives are going to be that today we're going to define and discuss opiates because in certain communities, guess what? We don't call them opiates. That's not what we call them from where I'm from. We might call it that brown dude, that dirty boy. So we have different names. We're going to discuss discuss opiates' harmful effects. We're going to do an overview of the strategic prevention framework, and if you don't know what that is, basically, that's a $4 word for saying we're going to develop a plan. Because we have 161 people that are dying every day from overdoses. We're going to identify resources for opioid misuse and prevention. And so one of my favorite poems is called Survival of the Fittest. And it states that every day in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion. Or surely It will be killed and eaten. And every morning in Africa, when the sun comes up, the lion knows that it must outrun the slowest of the gazelles. Well, surely it will starve to death. So every morning in Africa, when the sun comes up, it doesn't matter whether you are the lion or the gazelle. You better be running. This fits so well because I can imagine that gazelle, a harmless creature, at nighttime just piddle-paddling around, trying to find a little something to eat. Not really worried about too much of anything, but at the same point in time has to worry about everything. We have some gazelles in our community. Our young folks are the gazelles. Imagine that gazelle laying down and all of a sudden saying to themselves when they hear the wind blow too hard and it hits some of the twigs, all of a sudden it says, wait a minute, is that old lion creeping? Imagine that gazelle all of a sudden smelling something that's a little different than what they've smelled before and thinking to themselves, is that lion? Imagine that gazelle thinking to themselves, should I run or should I stay right here? We have some gazelles in our community. Gazelle represents our children. Harmless, fearful, but ready. But we got to understand something. We have some lions in our community. We have some lions in our community that are ready to eat. We have some lions in our community that are hungry. We have some lions in our community that, watch this, they enjoy the hunt. If you ever watch a lion, he doesn't really prey on the lame gazelle. He likes to chase. So you got to understand that opioids in our community represents the lion. See, because somebody is trying to get some of you young guys and maybe some of you young girls to sell their hairline. We got lions in the community. Somebody in this community is trying to get you to protect your selling of drugs with weapons. We got some lions. We got some lions that are going to prey on our young people. But if you know anything about opioid use, they're not just preying on young folks. We got some lions that's preying on the folks that's 20 to 30 years old. We got some lions that's preying on some folks that's 30 to 40 years old. We got some lions that's preying on some folks that's between the ages of 40 and 50. So we got to make sure that we develop a plan to tame these lions, to reduce opioid use and misuse in our community. Before we get started, there's a saying. I know we're going to develop a plan. We're going to go back. There are no secrets to success. Not any secrets. There's no shortcuts. It is the result of preparation. That's why we're here. We're preparing. Hard work. And learning from our failures. We've been failing. We've had some successes. But this epidemic is going to hit Chicago hard. And it's going to continue to hit Chicago hard. Last year, there were 90 people dying. Every day. Every day. Yesterday it was 90. Day before it was 90. Well, this year, guess what? It's over 100. So we have to understand that we have to be prepared to work hard and learn from our failures. So today we're gonna go to camp. We're gonna get ready. So anybody in here been to camp before? When you went to camp, what did you have to do? You had to get ready, right? So what did you have to do? You had to get up out of bed. What else? Get yourself dressed. What else? I'm sorry? Straighten up your bed. Over here, what did you went to camp with the blue do-rag on?
Yeah.
What did you do to get ready for camp?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's all right. Miss Lady. Huh? You had to pack. What did you pack? I can't hear you. You got to speak loud, sweetheart. You had to pack your clothes. What other kind of stuff? You said my clothes and stuff. What else? You had to get some water. You might get thirsty. Oh, did y'all hear? She had to have some water to survive on. See, we're not just doing this work just to be doing it. We got to be ready. Anybody else been to camp? Nobody else been to camp? So we might need to check our list. So when we get ready to go to camp, the first thing that we might need is a compass. Because if we got a compass, the compass is going to tell us whether we're going north or south, whether we're going east or west. That's going to be important as we get ready to go. That's important, but we also going to need something else. We also going to need a map. See, that map is going to give us the destination. It's going to show us how to get there. The quickest way to get from one point to the next is a straight line. So we're going to need a map, if you will. But then the last part is, I'm like the sister in the back right there. She said, the survival guide. We got to understand what our environmental strategies are. See, that survival guide is going to be important. See, it's going to have all the necessities that we need to make sure that things go well. Like we're going to make sure that we have water, that we have rain gear, we have a tent. Make sure maybe we got some extra socks, just in case our feet get wet. So we're going to make sure that we have our survival guide. So as we're making sure that we got our survival guide, can anybody tell me what opioids are? It's a type of drug. You're right. Anybody else? Somebody said something over here? Medicine. Opioids are the medicine. Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. I'm seeing some rap guys talking about my grandmother taking medicine. I'm taking medicine. He's saying that my grandmama taking medicine. I'm taking the same medicine his grandmama taking. Because opioids are typically prescribed by a doctor. So now they taking, the sister back in the back said they taking it for two different reasons. So now he's stealing his grandmama's pain medication. So he can, as we say back in Rockford, so he can get his get-highs on. So opioids, what we've learned is that opioids, they do include prescriptions. And there's some things that go into that family, such as morphine. And I don't know, maybe some of you all are like me. See, I like to watch some of the old Army movies or the new Army movies. And sometimes in the Army, they get sent to war. And when they get sent to war, bad things happen. Sometimes they get shot and they're hurt really bad. And all of a sudden, typically because guess what? They prepared themselves. They have some morphine on them. And typically their friend or their partner, their comrade will come up to them. And if they're hurting their arm or if they're hurting their leg, they'll stick them with the morphine. And because the morphine is going to numb the pain. So that's what opioids are. It really deals with pain. So we got codeine and we got methadone and oxycodone and we got hydrocodone and fentanyl. We also have heroin. Now there are some that are provided through doctors and some are not. Fentanyl is typically constructed in a lab or something. It is synthetic in its use. Heroin typically comes from a poppy plant. So we have to understand exactly what's happening, because what's happening with the opioid prescriptions is we're being addicted to drugs because the doctors are giving too many prescribed medications to folks that don't even need them. Some need them and some don't. So how do it work? We're talking about something that's very addictive, right? Opioids are extremely addictive. Heroin is extremely addictive. Fentanyl is extremely addictive. Codeine is extremely addictive. So what does it do? What it does is it binds itself to your brain and down in your spleen and your spinal cord. And what it does is it ties itself to that to reduce your pain. Now, I don't know, maybe some of you all are thinking like I am. It's like, well, why are all these folks taking this medication? If it's pain medication, if there's nothing wrong with a person, then why are they taking this medication? We're gonna have a chance to take a look at the opioid crisis that's happening. This is kind of a 2-minute video that I want to share with you all. And then we're going to go right back into the presentation. So,
Opioid epidemic. It's the deadliest drug crisis in American history, killing about 90 Americans every day, roughly the same number as car crashes. Here are short answers to some key questions about the crisis. What exactly is an opioid? Opioids are a class of drugs that interact with opioid receptors on nerve cells in the body and brain. They regulate pain and affect the brain's reward or pleasure system, which can make people feel high. That makes opioids powerful painkillers, but also extremely addictive. So what is the crisis about? The current crisis started in the 1990s with the overprescription of opioid painkillers like Oxycontin. Over the next decade, a growing number of people became dependent on these drugs. And for many, what started with pills grew into a heroin addiction. Then in 2014, potent synthetic opioids like fentanyl began entering the drug supply in large amounts. Where's the crisis most severe? It's worse in the Midwest, Appalachia, and New England, but it really is a national problem. Synthetic opioids are continuing to enter new markets, especially in the Northeast and South. Why has it gotten so much worse in recent years? Decades of opioid overprescription, an influx of cheap heroin, and the emergence of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is 50 times more potent than heroin. Shouldn't we just stop prescribing opioids? Not necessarily. Opioids have improved the quality of life for millions of people, particularly cancer patients and those with acute pain. And suddenly removing access to opioids from those who are dependent on them to function could easily push people to more dangerous opioids, like heroin or counterfeit pills. So what can be done? There are many variables, but any solution would require controlling the distribution of prescription opioids, expanding access to medication-assisted treatment, and making naloxone, an overdose antidote, more accessible. In addition, more controversial ideas like drug checking services or supervised injection sites may be necessary to slow the rise in overdose deaths.
I wanted to give you all
The opioid epidemic. It's
kind
the
of a brief synopsis of what's happening. And I don't know if you recall him saying, but he said it was severest in the Midwest. Does anybody know where we live? This is national news. National. They're talking about us. They're They're talking about our community. What does the crisis look like? Well, drug overdoses are the leading cause of death for Americans under 50. The leading cause of death. Wait a minute, you're trying to tell me that the leading cause of death for all of us in this room is drug overdose? Overdoses killed more people last year than guns, car accidents, and they're doing so at a faster pace than HIV. And HIV ran rapid. Last year, watch this, 11.8 million people in the United States aged 12 or older misused opioids. 11.8 million. And 948,000 reported using heroin. So the ones that couldn't get to the prescription drugs, they got that heroin, they got the dirty boy, they got that brown guy. 116 people dying every day. The average age for a prescription painkiller for the first time use was 21.2. Now, wait a minute. That was the average age of the person that was using, 21 years old, right? Being prescribed. But we're talking about a 12-year-old, 13 and 14-year-old that's using. I had a young lady the other day, we were at the school, and the security officer said, Miss Reed, can you go over there and talk to the young lady, the little girl over there, she's in the 7th grade. He said, I think she's been drinking. I said, she's in the 7th grade. School hadn't get started. Everybody was in their class, and she was running a little late. She went over there, and I said, excuse me, sweetheart. I said, how you doing? She said, I'm doing all right. She was putting her coat in her bag and stuff in the locker, and I said, okay. I said, you need to make sure you hurry up and get to class. Where your class is? It's right down the hallway. I said, okay, thank you. I said, have a good day. She said, you're welcome. She walked on in her classroom. I said, she's been drinking vodka. We got her some help. We got some young folks that's in pain. We got some young folks that's self-medicating. We got some young folks that's going through something. According to the National Survey on Drug Use, we have 4.3 million Americans engaged in non-medical use. Wait a minute. We got 4.3 million that's engaged? That was last month. 4.3 million? Can you go back up to the next? So, we at one point, this was in the last year, 1.9 million in the past year. Last month, we had 4.3 million. We got an epidemic happening. We got people, you got young people and older people dying. So when we start thinking about this, and we start thinking about the family of opioids, we have morphine. And we understand that these are basically pain agents. They are put together to slow down and reduce and address pain that's happening in our body. But what does it cause? What are some of the side effects? Nausea, vomiting, constipation, lightheadedness, dizziness, sweating, and drowsiness. Now here's another one. Codeine. Codeine is part of that family as well, to treat pain. Now typically codeine is in cough medicine, right? It's for us to get better. But we started to do a little something different with it. Can anybody tell me what lean is? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lean is a drink that you mix with Sprite or something with like Jolly Ranchers.
So lean is a drink that you mix with Sprite.
Like
Anybody else?
Codeine.
And codeine.
Yeah.
It's called for mixed with any type of drink you want, like Powerade, Sprite, grape juice, any type of juice mixed with
It's cough medicine with codeine. Mixed with any kind of drink that you want. It can go. What you say, sweetheart? Powerade, Gatorade, Sprite, grape juice. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. We can all eat together at the same time, but we can't all talk at the same time. He said you can also do what with it? You can also put candy in it. Now, first of all, you are all correct. You are all correct. But here's the thing. How is it that we know that? Because so go back to the next one. So also we have lean, which is also known as purple drink, purple lean, scissor. What the songwriter said? I'm sipping on some scissor. Ain't that what he said? Am I right or wrong? Okay, I'm right there. I thought I was in the wrong room for a minute. Dirty Sprite and lean drink is a combination of the following prescriptions, strength cough medicine, and soft drinks. The sister over here is correct. So how is it that it gets to our community? What is the driving factor that helps it to get to us? What happens to make that happen? And so we have to understand something. First of all, let me just go ahead and say this. I'm not a hip-hop hater, right? I was brought up on different kinds of music. I was brought up on hip-hop. I was brought up on blues, R&B. I like some of it. I like some of it. I like it all. But then we got people that's introducing this agent, introducing this poison to our children, to our community. Even reported that, and this is for y'all, anybody know who this is?
Yeah.
Who? He said, yeah. Who is that?
Future.
That's Future. His name, listen, his name is Future. Watch this. What kind of future are you going to have using drugs? Using opioids? Now, there was a 19-year-old Chicago artist named Juice WRLD. Maybe some of y'all are familiar with it. Admitted that Future's music inspired him to try lean. In a new interview with Vulture, Juice revealed that upon linking up for the World on Drugs kind of piece, Future apologized for steering Juice WRLD in the wrong direction. His main avenue is talking about, can you play a little bit of that? His main avenue, when you hear it, and here's the thing. When he did an interview, he said, I don't even use drugs. I just think about it. I used to wonder how come years ago, y'all remember when everybody was wearing the white tees? And everybody was wearing the white tees. I was like, when I went to Chicago, and I went to Detroit, and I went to New Jersey, and I went to, all these different places, and down south Mississippi, and Memphis, I was wearing, how does everybody know about white tees? And come to find out, there was a group that was in New Orleans called the Hot Boys at that time, that they would put on television. And they all had white tees on, and everybody began to wear them. How many of y'all remember that song? What is he talking about? That's kind of catchy, ain't it? Percocets. Molly Percocets. Yeah! It don't sound too... He's telling you to use and pop pills. And we dancing to it. Hey! Yeah! how he just kept saying it over and over and over and over again. And guess what? All of a sudden, ain't nobody talking about the harmful effects of it. Nobody's talking about what it's going to do. Nobody's talking about what it's doing to the community, the schools. Maybe some of you guys know this artist. He's a rap artist from UGK. His name is Pimp C. And not too long ago, Chad Butler, Mr. Chad Butler, the coroner's report said that his death was due to promethazine and codeine effects. He was drinking lean. But here he is, he's in the industry talking about it and using it. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody that's on lean, but I saw a young man that was on lean and he was standing up and he was just like, and I was like, what's wrong with him? They said, oh, dude on that lean. I said, excuse my vernacular, I said, that's what that do? That's what it does. It puts you in a comatose state where you can't move, you can't do anything. Next frame. Watch this. Maybe some of y'all know about him. Prince died from exceedingly high amount of fentanyl. We talked about fentanyl, didn't we? We said that was synthetic, didn't we? So we understand it. Some people might say, oh, it's just those rappers. No, it ain't just the rappers. Here's a man that's established, been in the artistry for years. Maybe y'all heard about this young man. Anybody heard about him? Not too long ago, Mac Miller's cause of death. Accidental. Fentanyl and cocaine overdose. Watch this. He's 26 years old. He's 26 years. He's an established artist. He's making money. He's doing his thing. He's reached his goals. He's on television. He's doing shows, traveling across the country. But not too long ago, just died of an overdose. Maybe y'all know about this guy. Now watch this. Watch this. The promethazine, the cough syrup acts as a sedative, and the opiate in this case is codeine, creates a feeling of euphoria. Now, I need to go back to him for a second. As you see him right here, remember how I said it takes and attaches to the brain? It binds to the brain? He's in a stupor, right? But in his mind has got all kind of excitement and stuff that's happening. His mind, he might be running and jumping and playing and moving around and doing his thing. But to everybody else, he's like this. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is what it's doing to folks. And it's extremely addictive. So what does lean do? And they say it creates euphoria. Well, hold on for a second, Mr. Reed. What are you talking about, this euphoria? Anybody know what euphoria is? What is that? Help me out. What is euphoria? A feeling or state of intense. They didn't say it was kind of all right, exciting. They could have said it was, it was kind of cool, exciting. They said no. It was a feeling, a state of intense, extreme excitement and happiness. But it looks like this. So it just tells you how it's moving the mind. So what are some of the street names of lean? I'm going to have to speed up. So we're talking about Schoolboy, Purple Drink, Syrup, Scissor, Dirty Sprite. T3. What are some of the side effects of lean? Now watch this. Codeine is not meant to be consumed as a recreational beverage. It causes wheezing and night terrors and extreme confusion, hallucinations, seizures, liver damage. How come they not rapping about that? How come ain't nobody singing about that? How come ain't nobody talking about that it causes constipation? Hey! Ain't nobody saying that? So we talked about oxycodone, and we talked about it causes nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and drowsiness, and issues. I didn't get a chance to tell you that one of the old heads that I used to come up, I used to be around every night. He was this cool dude, right? He just seemed like he was cool when he came up. And as he got older, I mean, he could fight, and the girls seemed like they liked him. He said, man, when he got older, I was talking to him, he said, he realized that his risky lifestyle that turned into drug use, his risky lifestyle that turned into drug use began to affect him. He said, man, I was into this girl, and she turned me on to this stuff, and I was starting to itch, and I was more into my itching than I was into her because it had affected his mind. What we're starting to see is what it actually does. Next slide. Fentanyl. Imagine being able to go to the bathroom, but you can't empty your bladder. You gotta go, but you can't go. You want to go, but you can't go. It would be nice if you could go, but you just can't go. And then watch this. But then you have periods of not being able to breathe because it's affecting your central nervous system. Wow. Go to the next slide. A highly addictive analgesic drug derived from morphine, often used illicitly as a narcotic, produces euphoria. Once again, slowing heart function slows. Breathing is also severely slowed. If I knew this, if I knew better, I should do better. Next slide, please. So, now we have some of the information. Where do we go from here? Can I have a volunteer? Come on this way. Damon, can I have a loan, please? So, tell everybody your name.
My name is Akila.
What?
Akila.
Akila, and what school you go to?
I go to Malcolm X.
Okay, all right. And no, I don't want this one here. Give me another. And how old are you? 18 years old. All right. Now, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do, right? I want you. Now I tried this at home, so it works. Okay. So you all right? Your ankles ain't, your knees all right? You good? Okay. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to keep this balloon in the air. Okay? Can you do that? Like that. You got it? Okay. This is her math class. Now, some of y'all said y'all ready, right? This is her math class. Okay? So here we go. There you go. That's her math class. She going to class. She doing her thing. You know, and then, you know, but math class isn't the only class that she has. She also has, English class. So, as she has English class, you know, it gets a little bit difficult, but that's all right, because she's a pretty good student. She can handle it. But it gets a little difficult. It's all right, though. Then she's got another class. And so now all of a sudden, she has another class. Hold on. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I'm so sorry. So, I'm sorry, once again, because it worked well at home. Okay? So, maybe you didn't understand the instructions. I'm slow it down for you a little bit. All I need you to do is keep it in the air. Okay? All right. No, you got to keep it in the air. Okay? You ready? You ready? No, you can't hold it. You got to keep it in the air. Now, if you want to hold it, you can hold it. But you got to keep it in the air. There you go. Oh, now that's very smart, huh? So she holding it. So now she got English. Go ahead and hold it. Now she got PE. Go ahead and hold it. So now,
They're lame.
wait a minute. Where you going? Where you going? Because you trying to hold on to it, right? You trying to keep everything together, right? What's going on? What's happening? It's falling on the floor. So what's happening? She's failing, right? Now watch this. Watch this. Let me help you out, sweetheart. Watch this. Y'all got me working hard up here. Here she is. Beautiful young lady. Headed to college. Doing well in school. And everybody just watched her fail. Everybody watched her fail. Let me try this one more time. Try it one more time. I want you to volume. So keep it up in here. 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 I'm sorry. My fault. I did it wrong again. The sister is going to school and she was struggling with some things and everybody watched her fail. Let me try this again.
Come on now.
She was struggling up here and everybody watched her fail. 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 Y'all see what I'm saying? Thank you for your participation. Thank you. We have a community where we can't afford to watch our young folks fail. They need some help. So as youth leaders, what do we do now? So what we do now is we begin to plan. Right? We begin to plan. So we got some of the information. So this is what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then start over. Okay? So we're going to go down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we do that, then we're going to start all over. Okay? I tell you what. Let's do this. Because keep everybody from moving. I want you to take this group right here, this table right here. I want you to write down where you use that. Sir, what's your name? Joshua, can you please take that one right there? I want your table to work on who uses and where we can market to reduce the use of opioids. This group over here, what's your name, sir? Jordan, can you please go over there and grab that? Why are you using? I want your table to come up with reasons why your group is using, or why the young people are using. This group, what's your name, sir? Huh? Danielle, I want you to use, I want your group right here. What's your name, sir? Huh? What'd you say? Titus. Where we can get help from. I want your group to work on where you can get help from. This group over here. Your goal is to come up, who can you talk to? Okay? So, you have 3 minutes. Go. So find your group to get in. Everybody find your group to get in. There needs to be a person that's writing. There needs to be a person that's talking. So who's going to report out? You have 3 minutes. Write it down. Write your answers down. Write your answers down on the paper. Somebody got to be able to write this. Who's going to take the leadership? Sounds like your sister. Sounds like you. Go ahead. Who's going to be the leader? Write it down. Write it down.
What can you help with?
Put the name of the organization. If you know specific organizations, write them down.
This is my last year. What can you do? Because you can get help. I'll get help. Right, what made the other thing? What made
Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. Y'all got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Oh my goodness, y'all better come home. Where can we go? Somewhere? So we can find out who's using it. You already said somebody. So we're talking about where can we go to market our prevention message? Y'all got 2 minutes. Got a minute and 30 seconds. Let's go. I need some ideas to flow. I need some ideas to flow. Y'all can't be done. I know y'all can't be done.
What they gonna do? You can have.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Good job, fellas. Good job. Good job, young ladies. I see that. You didn't even give me a chance. See that? You was finna give me, wasn't you? That's all right. That's all right. You got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can see me, clap twice. All right. We got a public service announcement. We have a public service announcement. If I can have your attention, everybody can go back to their seats. Everybody can go back to their seats. If we have a public service announcement.
Hello. Thank you guys for coming. You're appreciated you all being here and participating in this workshop. So we have someone from the Chicago Police Department to talk to you guys today. I know, but we need you guys to be respectful and listen to him. He has to say his name is Officer G. He works in the 6th District. He is assigned to the 3rd Watch Robbery Team. He was born and raised in Chicago. He actually